Hello, and welcome to a new video. If this is your first time, feel free to look around. We have plenty of themes and different videos that you would probably find inviting. Now, for this week, I wanted to try something new because of the music video that came out for Montero. I personally am in love with the music video, personally because of the art style and because of what it means. But that ending shot where he grows wings, I saw it and I had to draw it. I had to recreate it. And I had to send it to Lil Nas. I tagged him on Twitter. So going about trying to figure out this pose was a little bit tricky at first, mostly because I tried to use a 3D model and I am still not quite sure how to get the 3D models to work on CSP, but it turned out fine once I gave up on the model and just broke down his body proportions. It was pretty simple. There's a little bit of perspective, but it was worth it, I think. His tattoos were also a challenge, but those come way later. So I love all of the little Easter eggs in the music video. Like, if you know anything about mythology, be it Greek or Judeo-Christian, there are so many, like, winks and nods. It's crazy, and I sincerely adore him for that. As a mythology nerd myself, it was a treat to see. Especially the Tree of Life. The little saying on the Tree of Life was basically the story of how soulmates exist. Because there is a story in Greek myth of originally humans were two-headed beings with two souls, and then Zeus broke them apart. And in order to find your other half, that's your soulmate. I'm explaining this badly, but it's a really pretty story, and it fit really well with the story of the song. And I'm very proud of Lil Nas for being brave enough to, like, make something so explicitly in your face. Because it was shocking at first. But I give him big kudos for, like, mega steel balls. Just good shit all around. Now, getting his tattoos and his wings, which are not particularly anatomically correct. I think it might be a reference to Icarus, because they look handmade, and they're only made of one type of feather. But I'm not quite sure. I'm gonna cling to that idea, that it's based on the Icarus story, because he did fall from heaven and then got these fake wings. It's great. But getting the tattoos and the wings right was probably the hardest part of all of this. because getting clear pictures of the tattoos, even with the music video, it was not fun. But I think they came out really nice. I like the chest piece, how it came out, because I did not expect it to come out that nicely. I didn't realize it until, like, researching the tattoos, that the tattoos that he has in the music video at the very end are fake. Which makes sense, because a lot of the tattoos are, like, satanic in nature. Or based on demons and stuff like that. So that makes sense. Another thing that I realized about halfway through making this was it's called Montero because that is his first name. I did not know that. I have not researched Lil Nas apparently enough at all. Yeah, I messaged my friend with my realization, and they were like, "Where have you been?" So I felt kind of stupid, and now I'm sharing with you. The shading with this, I wanted to try a different angle, because number one, spooky. Number two, I wanted to highlight all the contours, and going for a bottom angle gave a lot of nice highlights. Like chef's kiss highlights. Shading this was probably the funnest part. I love shading it. Got to use so many gradients. I love the gradient tool in Paint Tool SI. It's ridiculous, but I love it. These little baby hairs, they get to me. I love his little baby hairs. Sneaking in that 666 was another chef's kiss. Good job. Now, out of all of the things anatomy-wise that were the most difficult to get on this, it was the hands. Because his hands are in a very strange shape because they're grasping. And I don't normally draw hands like that. So I did have to basically trace them for the sketch, just to get an idea of the shapes, and then redo it. Which I don't trace very often for anything. So that was a shocker. But I think it came out great, and I believe that everyone that I've shown it to so far believes it came out great. So I am happy with it. Trying to keep the color levels away from being just stark red, where you could not see any of the color contrast in his skin, was a little bit tricky, but I figured it out in the end. Giving more highlights, like a rim light, I think it's a rim light, helped to bring out the 3D-ness of his body as well. So it was just a lot of finagling. A lot of figuring out what looked right. And in the end, it worked out. As always, the best place for updates is right here, or my Twitter, @PookieCreations. If you're new here and like what you've seen and want to see more, go ahead and leave me a like, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell next to it. If you didn't and want me to know what I can do better, why don't you tell me in the comments? I read them all. And last but not least, let's thank those friends of mine that keep the blood flowing in my veins, my patrons, Cuernos, Ravenfire, and Ashley Coe. See you in the next video.